Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's Ink It Up tutorial, we're going to create this card project. We're going to be using the Oceanfront stamp set by Stampin' Up. It's currently available. And the nice thing about this stamp set, which I didn't plan for, but I'm very excited about, is that it's carrying over into the next annual catalog. Not that I wasn't going to keep it because I already loved it, but now I'm going to be demonstrating with it all next year as well. So this doesn't have any sentiments, as you can see. So like it's just a scene builder. I'm going to show you what inspired me to create this project right now. Okay, and where I came up with this. And I'm also going to share something that you may have missed on my last unboxing tutorial. So at the end of the, well, now let me show you at the beginning of this. Let me do two things. Let me show you this right now because my hands are going to get so inky that I don't want to mess with my cards. I can put them totally away. If you missed my unboxing of the new annual catalog coming up, as I was preparing for this tutorial, I thought of this. I thought this seagull paper would have made a perfect background for what I'm doing now. But instead, I love this background too. It's a cloud background. I'm using the Flowering Fields Designer Series paper, which is currently available. But this one that's coming up in our annual catalog, what a cool background this would make for this scene here. So that's the reason I want to show you these right now, and then I can clean my hand, not clean my hands, get my hands inky. All right, so in the last unboxing of, it was called Unboxing of the Annual Catalog Part 2 or something it was called, I think Part 2. I shared, as I opened all my Designer Series paper, I shared how to create these projects, this Designer Series paper card. Then I went on Facebook and did it again because that's how I roll. I just did it on Facebook, maybe about a 30-minute tutorial. I didn't unbox again, but I shared the rest of my projects, and we did this again in a more smooth fashion than my live video. That was live as well. Okay, so I just want to share these in case you're following my channel and you're like, oh, I wonder what those cards came out like that she made the other day on YouTube. Well, here's all the ones I finished since then. And like I said, I made some of these live on Facebook, so there's a couple opportunities to figure out how to make these. And I always like to share what inspired me and give credit where credit is due. So these cards, I'm using the new Designer Series paper that you get with your host rewards in the new annual catalog. But what inspired me are a couple swaps I received. Even though these look nothing alike, what inspired me about these two swaps is they use the color and contour dies. I don't have this hand penned. This is Designer Series paper that's retiring now. But I got this as a swap from Hattie, my upline. And I thought, oh my gosh, I love how she just used Designer Series paper for this card. Okay. And then I got this one from Judy, my fellow team member. And I was like, oh, Judy, I love how you use these scallop contour dies. So that's what inspired me for this whole project. It doesn't look anything alike, right? These don't look, not this project I'm doing now, this project. Okay. And then I did some other ones. These are called Designer Series paper cards. That's what I'm calling them. I already mailed one to my niece. The Easter Blessings card I mailed to my niece, but this is my other Easter Blessings card. So this all ties together in that I get inspired by one card to create another card. It also ties together in that this Flowering Fields paper, believe it or not, this paper is what I used on the back of here. Let me show you a piece of it. Okay? Believe it or not, this is the same paper. So there you go. You can do like amazing things when you just like think outside the box. You don't have to even use the flower side of the paper. The other side is fantastic. All right, now for this project here, I'm done with that. Let me put these away. 1 second. I'm gonna put these on another table so they don't get splattered with ink. All right, I'm back. Now, the stamp set we're using right now is called a scene builder stamp set. Scene builder. It means that there's usually when you see the word front behind something, we had snow front, ocean front, waterfront, lakefront, I think. I don't know. There's one about a lake. Maybe it's a mountain. I don't know. There's all these different ones with front on them, and they're called scene builders. So you build a scene, and this is what I made with waterfront, and I made it out of a shoebox swap, and I loved it. Meaning the lady had all the pieces cut for us, and we did it. And I don't know her name. I did this. I made it myself, but I'm saying she inspired me. She had like all the pieces cut for me, and I was at like an on stage event for Stampin' Up. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I like how she cut the pieces. I've had this card. I kept it because it keeps inspiring me. Then my friend Kathy Schmidt, she should be on here soon. She's one of my YouTubers. She's a fellow demonstrator. She's another, like we swap, another person I swap with. So this was a swap and then this was a swap. She sent me this swap using Oceanfront, this one. She used Oceanfront. And she also used On the Horizon, right? And On the Horizon bundle. So she used this because, so I was like, okay, she used the Enjoy Your Day from here. She used the seagulls from here. I'm not using the seagulls from here. I'm using seagulls from another set. So anyway, she inspired me, her card, and I started playing around with it. I was going to put fences on my card. I cut out some fences in crumb cake. I started playing around with different colors. I started playing with my Oceanfront set. And then I wasn't into the fences part right now. I started playing around with different color combinations. Ended up with this color combination that I'm going to show you. And used my own seagulls from another set, which I'm going to show you because I didn't want to cut the seagull set apart. So that's how I got inspired by this. So let me move those. These are the cards that inspire me to make the project I'm showing you now. In other words, I used her background kind of idea, but I used the cut up idea for this one. Okay, so use swap cards, use what I'm showing you when I show you examples to springboard your creativity for other projects. So I'm using the Thing of Beauty. Let's see, this one. Our friendship is a thing of beauty. I didn't want to cover up the scene. I didn't want to put a sentiment right on the scene. So I took a sentiment, our friendship is a thing of beauty, and put it down here. And then I took the seagull from here. And what happened is when I was cutting the paper, I'm going to cut it first and then put the seagulls on. Because I didn't want to cut through a middle of a seagull. So I like it better with like 5 seagulls, like 3 over here and 2 over here. As opposed to trying to cut where the seagull's little wing gets cut off. Okay, that's just my idea. So that's what I'm going to be showing you now. I already have the Stamparatus inked up, but at the end, because I'm a teacher, I have to show you step by step. But right now, it's already inked up. I've been using it. And I try to keep my tutorials real with, like, showing you things I'm actually working on. So let's show you the exact way I do this. You're going to see the efficiency of using the Stamparatus demo. Then later, what I'll do is I'll wipe them off, and I'll show you from start to finish how to make this happen. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 3x4. Okay. We'll write some measurements on there for you if you want. Later, okay? We're not later. We could do the 3x4 in case you want to get that part. Okay, so basic white. Right? Basic white cardstock. 3. Let's do length times width. We're going to say 4 times 3. Okay, we'll do length times width. All right, now, I'm going to put it in there. And you need your magnets. Very important. Now I'm going to stamp the sky first. So we got to put our magnets down here. Okay? And these are plates. They're on hinges. That's the sky. Okay, maybe I'll raise my camera up a little bit. Maybe that will help you a little bit. Let me just do that. All right. So you can see me ink this up. Well, you still can't really see me ink it up. Trust me, I'm inking it up. All right, well, we'll just go like that. We'll just move it down. You could sort of see it. I'm taking Balmy Blue. Some people save their stamping spots from the paper pumpkin kits, and they say they love using the stamping spots to ink this up. I personally like to ink up everything with my big stamping pads, okay? So I just go like that. Tap, 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 okay? I'm using Balmy Blue for the sky. If you want to use your stamping spots or uninked stamping spots, that might work better. I'm going to move this back down so you can see it. Oops, that wasn't it. I just messed up the very first step. Let's do the sky. Hold on. This one's the sky. I didn't mess it up. I just messed up the color. Let me grab a baby. My sky is over here, not there. My water's a different color. That was the water. It's no big deal. We're just going to get the Balmy Blue off that one. All right, so Balmy Blue is over here for the sky. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Tap, tap, tap. All right. And then if you don't get it inked up enough, you can do it again. I don't think that one inked up very well. Yeah, I got to get the bottom of it a little bit. But that's the nice part about. Let's put that up there for a second. The nice part about it is when you use the Stamparatus, you can add some more ink. Okay, that's my sky. All right, now let's do our water. We're going to do a bunch of these. I'm not going to do a bunch of these at once. I'm just going to do a bunch of these in a minute. But let's do one at a time. Then I'll do a bunch of, and then I'll show you more of like how I would actually do it. All right, now we're going to put the magnets up there, and we're going to do the water. I already have my little place marked off where it's supposed to be, and I hope it doesn't keep slipping. All right, let's just double check. There's my water, and that's going to be not Balmy Blue. The water is going to be Pool Party, and that was after a lot of experimentation. I decided to make the water Pool Party. I tried Coastal Cabana. That was weird color. I tried Pacific Point. It came out too dark. So Pool Party ended up working for me. The nice thing about the scene builder is it kind of ends up like looking like a watercolor scene. Oh, I always love. It's a glorious day when everything comes out aligned. But I'm going to show you it's very easy to align. Next, I'm going to use Sahara sand. I tried crumb cake. Crumb cake was too dark, so I played with Sahara sand. I did a lot of experimentation, so you don't have to. Feel free to use all my colors. Okay, I'm doing Sahara sand, and I'm going to just do the sand. Leave the magnets up there while you do this. Actually, don't leave the magnets. You got to be able to get this down a little bit, but get the magnets to hold onto the paper. And just press on that part. Later on, I'm going to show you like how I would do this part with that part at the same time. I would do these two at the same time. All right, now we're going to flip this around, right? Do the old flip it around. This is what's great about having Stamparatus and these plates and everything. And I'm going to use Old Olive for the little sprigs. Keep all your ink out. Hold on, I think I just got ink on the back of one of my stamp sets. This is what happens. I'm such a messy crafter. I got to move everything away from me, like, whoa, to get it all away, because it's like I'm like a tornado. Now we're going to take Old Olive, flip over the Old Olive, and we're going to do the little sprigs. I have a couple sprigs. Put a sprig, it'll be a sprig there. I mean, not sprig. I call them sprigs. They're just like little, some plants, some seagrass and things. The second seagrass, I don't want to use the Stamparatus for. I'm going to use the stamping block because I'm stamping off. Not that you can't stamp off with the Stamparatus, but it's just a lot more work. So I'm just going to kind of put that there. See, it's a light. I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm using a stamping block. Still Old Olive, though, but stamping off. Now you're going to take gray granite for the rocks. Okay, there's the rocks. I had already put them on here. And again, we'll set it all up from scratch later after I create a few of these in a faster way. We're going to use gray granite. We're going to go like this. Open this up. Let me move this down so you can see. I got to make sure you can see everything. There's the rocks all the way up there. The boulders. Put them on the beach. Okay. And you can put some boulders there. And then I do that twice because I want it to be darker than the sand. Or if my ink pad was juicy, I probably wouldn't need to do it twice. But there's my boulders. Now later we're going to put some, hopefully my hands aren't too dirty. See, sea glass. I have some sea glass shapes. We're going to put some sea glass on there. We're going to do the seagulls later after we cut. Voila. We have built a scene, okay? Now let's because the Stamparatus is all set up, right? So we're going to do some more stuff now we're going to do the seagulls later, and we're going to build some more scenes. So I'm going to show you this again in a way that I would actually do it. Like right now, after this video is over and I want to make some cards, I would stick this on there. Okay. And I'd move. Okay, so let's do this. Magnets. All right, let me show you how I would do it actually. So I would go like this. Let's see. This one is the sky and that's the sand. So I would do these two at the same time, but I would ink these up at the same time. Well, actually, first I would do the sky, move my magnets and ink the bottom up without moving the plate. Okay, so let's go like this. Da, 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 tap. Balmy blue. It seems like my balmy blue is really dry, so let's put a little more balmy blue on there. Okay, good enough. I would go like this, boom, put those up there, Sahara sand down here. Okay, so you have two, you could do these two parts at once because they're on the same plate. Make sense? But I don't want to. Okay, good. And now, flip that around white where you're there. Okay, I'm going to do the boulders last because you're layering the stamp images. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the pool party. You could do all the ocean, all the sky at once, but I like to do one whole scene at once because I'm building a scene, and then I can just change my plate. But you could, when you have like a sentiment and you want to do a lot of sentiments, you can just kind of keep doing them, right? Flip that around, do the boulder. Okay, gray granite. What I'm doing is I'm just doing gray granite. Gray granite's more of a pinky, rocky color. Okay. Done that. And old olive. Boom, boom, boom. See, so it's a lot quicker. I'm just trying to show you that it's a lot quicker. And of course, if you do an assembly line process, even quicker. But boom, that's how I would actually do it. Then I would do my old olive over here with the off stamp for that little sprig. And voila. So now, before we get back to this, let's wipe this off so that we can start from scratch. And we're going to take all these and we're just going to, I have to show you because I don't want you to think, but she spent all this time setting them up. It's really not that long to set up. We're just going to let these dry. We'll stick them back here for now. So while I show you the rest of the card making process, these can dry, and then we'll set this up from scratch. All right, now there you go. So all these boulder is off there. All right, there are my stamps. I'm leaving all of these inks open for now. Moving the Stamparatus away. All right, now I'm gonna grab out move all those over there, get away so you don't get into my, we need Night of Navy for the seagulls. We'll do the seagulls in a moment. Now let's take a stamping trimmer. Now, I told you that was 3x4, right? So now we're going to cut them in half. Very simple. These were 3x4, so we're going to make them 1.5 inch by 2. That's all. You can cut through both of them at once. Because you're making your little, I don't know, sometimes I guess it could be called a window card, but it's not really. Sometimes it looks like you're looking through a window, but I'm just going to call it a little panel card. I don't know if there's a name for this kind of card. Okay, now turn them. That was 1.5 by 2. Oops, come on. Come on. Oops, we better make sure we get the top ones, though. Right? The top ones must go with the top one, and the bottom ones must go with the bottom ones. All right, hold on. Put that over there. I hope I put them back together correctly. I think the top ones were at the bottom. All right, so let's see. 2. Hold on. 2 inches by... Okay, let's make sure. That looks right. All right, that looks like the right one. The top one. I don't think it really matters because I did use the Stamparatus, right? But I still like to put them back together exactly. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Let's put those over there. Now you're going to get a piece of Bermuda Bay. Let's get rid of this baby wipes for a moment. I got to move all wet things aside when I'm trying to do the card making. Okay, we're going to do 3 1/4, right? Remember, it was 3x4. Or here, let's do this one first. We'll do 4 1/4. We'll do 4 1/4. It's going to be 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. We're going to make these 1/4 inch bigger, right? But we want to get a bunch of them at once. So let's see, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Bermuda Bay, I just thought looked cool. Again, from just playing around with the colors, it looked cool. All right, now you need your dimensionals. Gonna pop those up. Here, let's move this down. You can see better. I'm just gonna kind of move this down closer. Okay, so we're just making our little scene on here with some dimensionals. Oh wait, we could do our seagulls first too. Wow, it's flat because you want to do your seagulls before you put them on. You know, before you start wobbling them on dimensionals to do your seagulls. Okay, I just used the seagull from Waves of Inspiration and some Night of Navy. And the only reason I'm doing the seagulls now is I didn't want to split a seagull in the middle of where, I didn't want to cut a seagull in half. So you can do like 2 on one side and 3 on the other. Whichever way you want to do it, right? I don't know, I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do 3 on that side. I just like to do an odd number. Okay, now if you want to do these other seagulls, let me find that stamp set. You can use this flock of seagulls from here. However, I didn't do that. I'm just saying you could use a flock, but I didn't see how it's all together. I didn't use this flock. See the flock? You're going to end up cutting a seagull maybe in the middle of it, but still, you could then mask it off or whatever. You could just try using your flock of seagulls. Just use whatever you have or draw seagulls on there. Kind of need seagulls though, right? I think you need them. So now I'm putting 2 dimensionals on each panel. And just kind of work your way in from the outside, kind of like that. You're popping those up. So kind of do that. Let's see. Something, right? Leave yourself a little 1/4 inch margin. Looks cute. This card is so simple, but it's like people are going to go, wow, you look at all that effort. They're going to go, how'd you do it? First of all, they're going to say, how'd you do it? And if you saw my watercolor techniques in my Rainbow of Happiness workshop series that I just did, like you could use watercolor pencils and stuff, but this is like way less work than all the watercoloring I was sharing. I mean, way less, because this is already distinctive stamping. It has shading going on, and it has texture going on. I mean, Stampin' Up! Has done the work for you, right? So you don't, it looks like a whole watercolor scene, but it's not. It's very, very easy. Bada boom. Done. Okay, let's do this one. And of course, I would do all this part later. I would do this part while watching TV. You don't need to be standing up and having a flat surface. So sometimes what I do, just so you know, I cut the dimensionals to get more out of them. So like always use the edge of your dimensionals too. Right? Not just the dimensionals themselves. They come in 300 in a pack, but still, you get more than 300 out of a pack. I always put 100 in my kits. I always put 100 dimensionals in my different kits. And there's a link to my next kit, Waves of the Ocean workshop series. You can sign up for that until the 18th of April. And I'm using a bit of that right now. I'm using the seagull from there and the sentiment from there. That one's looking crooked. Tilt. Good enough. All right, put that in there. So after my Hello Beautiful workshop series is over, we'll be doing something nautical. And then we'll do something from the annual catalog. Well, this one, Waves of the Ocean, is from the annual catalog. Come on, they got to get a little closer together. All right, so good now. Before, you don't do your little sea glass till later because it'll get bumpy. Let's move that ink over there. But we can do the next layer. So now you want to take this paper. This is called Flowering Fields Designer Series paper. Currently available. Check out this awesome paper. This is my favorite sheet of the paper, this piece here. It's just gorgeous. So great for spring, right? But on the back of some of these would make great panels for the back of these cards because I think they look like clouds. So that's why I'm using this. And I wanted to bring in the pool party from the ocean water, the petal pink because it's a coordinating color. And I just thought it looked cool. So we're going to make these the normal size of a A2 card base. And we'll write that on that little panel later. Okay, 4. Go ahead and make it. We're going to make a bunch of these by 5 1/4. And let's turn the trimmer over so you can see that. 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just getting it so you can see the clouds better. I'm going to use that end, not this end. This end's good for stamping too, but I like that little kind of cloud, puffy watercoloring edge around it. So there we go. We have 4 of these panels. I'm ready to rock and roll and make a bunch of these cards. I do mass producing when I make cards. And kind of that's how I'm showing you. That's how the Stamparatus is great for, mass production. So you're just going to put it on there. Right? I'm kind of wanting the pink to be on that side, though. No, wait. That's okay, because I'm going to have some pink on the bottom. It's okay. Well, we'll use this. We'll just use this one. It's better. Oh, I like that better. Lots more pink showing. And let's see if this one here. Put that one there. Ooh la la with the clouds. When I saw this paper, I just immediately came to me that I have to use it as background for that. For this card I was making. Because otherwise, you could blend your own background, right? But who wants to do all that work? Very good, coming together. I'm grabbing petal pink right now. Petal pink cardstock. I'm laying it on my trimmer, on my Simply Scored, and I'm going 5 1/2. 5 1/2 because I'm making A2 cards that are vertical. I made one horizontal and one vertical, but I like making them. I like making this kind of cards so you can stand. Cutting at 4 1/4, and now I have A2 cards. Getting my spatula. If you're not sure about this part and you're just want to know the basic card making, I do teach basic card making skills on a platform called Skillshare. And so there's a link in the description. If you're not even sure how to make cards and layers and all that stuff, you can start at the basics. Where's my cards? Here we go. Hope I didn't crush them under there. So make sure before you mount it, right? Always do this again because I always mount things upside down. You've seen me do it live, mounting things upside down. And then I do plain basic white on the inside. See, bringing in that petal pink. Petal pink and pool party are coordinating colors. So if you're like, wow, those colors look good together. And I don't even like petal pink. And I'm saying that to myself. That's what I say to myself. I'm not even I don't even like this color. But I love this color with pool party. I start liking this color. See, I already turned it upside down just while talking to you. I like this color of petal pink when it's with pool party. But when I see petal pink alone, it's not a happy color. Even when I put it with my little piggies, it looks great with the little piggies. It's a great color for coloring pigs. But it's not till you start putting things with it that it's a cool color. Okay, now we got to do our sentiment and our sea glass, and then I'll go back to the Stamparatus. So for the sentiment, I'm using from my bucket of crafty goodness, You can either use one of these three things, like one of these, or you can just use extra scraps you have from your scrap paper. But I'm using these things from they're called Beauty of Friendship. No, not Beauty of Friendship. Why am I saying that? That's the name of the sentiment. Your friendship is a thing of beauty. Why am I saying that? It's from Messages die. These what I'm stamping on right now are from the Messages die. So I'm going to use my Stamparatus again just for a foam platform. That's all. So let's move this over here. Actually, or I could use this thing. I could use this. It's, as long as I have a platform that's a little sponge. So you want to put this there. Now this, your friendship is a thing of beauty. The stamp is weird. It's mounted weird. Sorry, Stampin' Up. I don't know what you guys were thinking. But it's very hard for us to use cling stamps when they're not centered. Just saying. So it drives me crazy when they're not mounted in the middle of the rubber. Just a pet peeve of mine. So I figured out that when I use these things from these ones, it fits on that one, this long one, again, from the Messages die. I figured out that when you have, and I'm just going to do Night and Navy. Because it's mounted weird, I just stamp it off over there, make sure. And then I just go to the top. I just go to like I just align it on the top of my little flag. Oh, nope, kind of did it. Maybe it was the bottom. Hold on. I knew I had a method to do this. See, because of the way they have it mounted, it's kind of hard for me to make it centered. Okay, so it's on the top. I need it to be down. Okay, that's what it was. I think when I see the white part, something like that. Yeah, that's good. But it's mounted a little crooked or something too. Good enough. Now, I want to do, before I do that sentiment though, I found out that I always have lots of extra crafty goodness to play with, so it never matters. I'm going to make a couple of these. I found out that it got smeared, or not, from experimenting. I was using my pool party. Petal Pink, Petal Pink, and I was wanting to ink around the edges, and it got smeared. So I thought it'd be better to put the Petal Pink on it, on the edges before. So let's just put a little bit of Petal Pink on a stamping block. And what I'm trying to do is just ink around the edges before I stamp Our Friendship is a Thing of Beauty. Because that gives us a nice little cool edge dimension, right? I always like to ink around the edges of things for dimension. I'm right-handed. I'm going to flip them around. I'm just going to do them this way because my Night and Navy is sitting there. I don't want to get it in the way. All right, so there you go. So now I won't smear this with my hands and stuff. But look at the difference when you don't ink versus inking. Isn't that cool? You're just kind of, because I'm putting it on a background that has a little bit of Petal Pink on it, and the white will make it stand out a little. But this makes it stand out even better. All right. I don't think I need the Petal Pink anymore. The only time I used Petal Pink in this whole time for the ink part was just inking that edge. I've used this Night and Navy for the seagulls. And I'm using it for the sentiment. So if anyone else has waves of inspiration, I want to know, is yours also not centered into the middle of the rubber? Oh, that one came out good. That one came out good. Or is yours, like, because I might just be like, once in a while it happens, or it could be that, like, they all got manufactured like that. And when they're photopolymer, they're much easier, okay, to get centered. Now, I'm going to use, for this kind of long thing, I'm using foam adhesive strips. These come in all of my kits. I give you the foam adhesive strips because we do, well, not all the kits. All the kits where we're doing window cards. And we are doing window cards in the next class. Window meaning, shaker cards, not window cards, shaker cards. So whenever I do shaker cards, I give you these foam adhesive strips. and you get like a quarter of a pack of them. So they really help when you have a long sentiment like this. Okay, let's mount this, and then we'll do our sea glass, and then that'll be done, and we'll go back to the Stamparatus, right? That's the idea. So now I'm just centering that. It goes all across the card. It's a pretty cool sentiment. I mean, it's really long. It goes even into the petal pink parts. So it goes right out to the edge of the card. I'm putting it right down at the bottom of the little window thing there. And voila! Our friendship is a thing of beauty. We'll add the little faux sea glass shapes in a moment. So when I teach, I like to show every step. So you're not like, oh, how did they, but how did you do that? And how did you do that? And how did you do that? So I hope you're not thinking that. I hope you're not going to be saying that by the end of this. We'll move that one down a little bit. Maybe I like it when it's not right next to the window with a little gap in it. I think that might look a little nicer. It's up to you. And it doesn't really matter. Okay, now we're going to get our little sea glass. And you're just going to put a few little pebbles on the beach there. I put them all on the one side, but, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I didn't want to put them, like, in the gap. So I just put, like, the three different colors of sea glass shapes right on the beach. That way someone's, like, looking at the card, they're admiring the card, and they're like, oh, what are those? Oh, my gosh, I have little pebbles on my beach. How cool is my little pebbles on my beach? And we make these things called pebbles. These are called faux sea glass shapes, but we make little pebbles. I think that's what they're called, pebble gems or something like that. I'm just doing one of each color. I'm just doing small ones because got your little beach. And then they match and they take on the color of the little sand. And voila, that's how we do it. So now we have 4 cards. This one I popped up with the dimensionals. This one I didn't. This one I glued straight down. See? I didn't pop that one up, but I liked it. Then when I did it the next time, I popped it up with that long strip again. So now we have 4 cards. And I hope you understand how to make them from start to finish. But if you don't understand how to mount the Stamparatus, that's what I'm going to show you right now. So I hope you will make lots of these. These are just so fun for people. Oh my goodness, look how many people came in, and I forgot to say hi to you guys. I said hi to Cheryl, who says this is her favorite stamp set. And did you mean the Waves of Inspiration or the Oceanfront is your favorite stamp set? Okay. Donna Jo, hello. Donna R, hello. Rose, Yvonne, Dacia from Washington, Judy, hello, and Sandy K, Diana, awesome. So the platform is called the Stamparatus, Rosie. That's what we're about to do next. I'm going to write the measurements for you, and we're going to do some more with it. I'm going to start from start to finish. Not to worry, because all I've done is the basic first. So I'll just keep saying hi. So you said, where's the Stamparatus platform from? That's where we left off. I'm going to write some things down, and then I'm going to keep saying hi so you can take notes. All right, so we did Bermuda Bay, right? That was the little panel. And feel free to use my card. Like, it's called Casing, Copy and Share Everything. I mean, that's why I share, right? You can make this card or vary it if you want. So now you got to do this little panel is, the Bermuda Bay is a 1/4 inch bigger. So that's what that panel is. And then we did flowers, what was it called? Flowering Fields. DSP. And that was, let's see, that was the regular A2 card size. So meaning 5 1/4 times 4 inches. Okay, and then we had Petal Pink. And that's 11 inches times 4 1/4. Score at 5 1/2. So that's the card. So we're going to say it's an A2 card. All right, and then we had messages die. That was the thing I got this little guy, and we had a they're called faux sea glass. Faux. So we used the messages die for the sentiment. We used faux, F-A-U-X, sea glass. I didn't have time to write all the numbers of products and all this business. But if you go to my Stampin' Up store, you can search for things. What else did we use? Petal pink, da-da-da. Basic white. We used basic white cardstock for the inside of the card. And we used it for this little messages die, this shape. Oh, I didn't use it in that one. Maybe I used it in this one. Nope, that one. I think I did it. Maybe I didn't even put insides in here. Oh, that was the different. You can also do a card the other way. It opens up the other way as well. There we go. Here's one I did. Basic white. I did it plain on the inside. But I think it would be nice to put some, like, seagrass in there. That would be nice. All right, now let's ink this up. Let me move all these cards away. We're going to do the Stamparatus now from start to finish, so you won't have any mystery. If you have any more questions about the supplies I used, these were called foam adhesive strips. These were called Stampin' Dimensionals. A lot of team members are on here, so like I can see, I mean, a lot of other demos, they can tell you what these products are called too. If you had any questions, just keep asking. Hello, Judy. But the Stamparatus is like the most essential tool for making mass-producing cards of any kind. Like, I wouldn't even do this without the Stamparatus. I mean, now that I would do it. It's easy to do without a Stamparatus. But I'm just saying, it's just way more fun. Hi, Gloria. All right. And Nyoko. Nyoko? Hope I said your name right. So we're going to start with this. We're going to take the little, I already have these all cut up. I have a bunch of these cut up. These are 4 by 3. So they're already cut up, and you're going to set up this. You get your Stamparatus comes with a Stamparatus. Let me show you this from the start to finish, okay? You have this really cool plate, which is good, but you need a foam piece under it. You need a foam. It comes with the foam, but if not, it's like way down there. See, you can't get a flat image, so it's way down there. So you need the foam right down here. If not, you're going to not be able to ever get a flat image. So you're going to start with this. This is platform super, super strong magnetic. That's why when you get your magnets, first thing you want to do is cover them. Ooh, see that? With washi tape. If not, I've broken a lot of magnets. We do sell more magnets. They're so strong, they're going to fly into each other and break in half if you don't cover them with a little bit of washi tape, I think. Okay? So you're going to put your foam down, and then you're going to take one of the grid papers that come with your Stamparatus. It's a grid paper. And you're going to figure out where the corner is of your project you're working on. And that's the corner of my project. That's just where, well, it doesn't have to be the corner of my project now because I'm starting from scratch. So at the beginning, it doesn't matter where you start, but never do this. Never start up here and never start over here. It's too wonky. You can't get, look, you can never get a flat image when you start all the way up to the top. So always kind of start, it's always better to start in the middle. All right, so let's do this. Let's put the magnet down and let's start with the sky. I always like to start with the sky because it's at the top. And then you don't have to like worry. So the rest will just kind of come into place. All right, hold on. Let's see which one. I get this messed up. The sky is the one that's flat. The water is the one that's curved. Okay, so we want the sky. And not flat, meaning flat. There's like a horizon line. Okay, so here's your sky. And you're going to put it on your card. You want to leave a little space of white at the top. So just kind of look at the card and go, all right, like that. And you're going to put it the way you want it. So center it so that it all stays in. This is a 4 by 3, and it all stays in the card. Okay, so there you go. Now you're going to take your Stamparatus plate, and you're going to lower the plate, and you're going to grab it. And the magnets, you got to have the magnets on there, or it will never stay. See, even now it wants to lift up. So let's. Look, maybe even the first time, put the magnet up higher because I'm telling you, it tries to lift. And then you want to put it right where, yeah, something like that. Put the magnet right next to it because the suction or the little bit of a friction is going to make it lift. All right, so that's where, so now let's do it. Let's do balmy blue, okay? Balmy blue. And then leave it there. Don't move your sky. Keep it on the plate. Okay, good. Now, move the magnets up, but leave the paper where it goes. Put the magnets up there. Not too close to each other. And you're going to take, oh no, we're gonna do the this part first. We won't do the sand yet. We're gonna do the ocean. Okay. I think I'm done with the balmy blue for this demonstration. So let me close the balmy blue. We're gonna take now the pool party and we're gonna do the ocean. So for the ocean, you want to take your ocean and you want to put your ocean. See, there's a horizon line. And this part is not, see, there's nothing on that part. So you want to overlap it so that this touches the horizon. So like, make sure you can see this part overlapping a bit. And if you mess it up, then we move it. It's no big deal. But the sky doesn't have to move. That stays in place. So there's the ocean. Lower the Stamparatus. Lift it up. Oh, of course, it's going to try to stay. So let's move the magnets down a bit, right? Let's try that. Because it's going to try to move everything. So what you're going to do is I'm going to do this one more time with the magnets lower. The magnets are so important. If you don't have magnets, this thing doesn't work very well. Okay, hold on. Make sure I got it. I'm just going to do it again because the paper moved. And I want to make sure it's the way the paper's going to be every time. And notice I'm doing all this without ink on it, right? Once there's ink on it, you don't start wiggling it around. Let's try that. And if not, we move it. See? Now it kept the paper in place, sort of. Oops. Boy, that paper keeps moving. But that's what that tape, that's why I have tape on my corner for. And then once you get it, we're going to leave it like that. Okay, I'm hoping this is good this time. All right, let's try it. I'm going to go ahead and ink up Pool Party. Try it. Oh, we are happy. You don't know how happy I am when you're doing a live demo and it actually works on the first try. It's a glorious moment. All right, now we're going to take the sand, okay? Leave your magnets where they're at. And, of course, leave all this stuff where it's at because later, boom, 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 you make all your cards real quick, right? Now we're going to take our sand. Take that. And you're going to take it and you're going to, again, the flat side has to be up. And this part overlaps, but there's a little gap in that little one section, but that's okay. It's a little white gap. I kind of overlap this to the water a little bit, which it does in actual, when you're actually at the beach, it does sort of overlap, doesn't it? So I overlapped it a little bit over the water. Okay, magnets stay there. Lower this. It doesn't matter there's a little bit of balmy blue ink on there because A, the sky is in that spot, but B, there's magnets there, so you're not going to be inking up the balmy blue anyway. So now we're going to use Sahara sand. And if you have a light colored crumb cake one, that's okay too. But the crumb cake was a little dark, but if you lighten up your crumb cake, meaning if it's kind of dried out, it'll work good for this too. So don't go getting every color. And, you know, check your paper pumpkin kits because you probably have Sahara sand in there. In your paper pumpkin kit. This one could have probably went up a little unless it's just the way. I'm not sure if it was where it was at. So I'm just moving that up a little to make sure. Or if it was me not putting in the right spot. Nope. It was good. It's good. See that? I was just making sure the magnet was a little close. All right, so now we're going to do our rocks. So we're going to take this, and it's hinged. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to flip it around, right? Because this side is for our ocean, and now we're going to put our rocks over there. Our boulders. Okay, so we're going to put those flat side up. And they're going to hang off a little. See? I have them kind of hanging off at the edge a little, so. But it's kind of touching the bottom, so that's good. Now we're going to go like that. Lower the Stamparatus. Let me close the Sahara sand. The more things I close, the better. Okay, and I need to move. Hold on. So here's the little trick too. Get your spatula. Whenever it starts, you need to move the magnets down. Your paper starts lifting and you don't want it to move. Get in there, and you can kind of take your pick tool to hold it down, knowing you need to move your magnets down because it's starting to lift your paper. But don't move them down too much because if you move them down too much, you're not going to be able to get the coverage you need on this boulder. All right, so now, gray granite. And this one we're going to do twice because the rocks need to be darker than the sand. 2 or 3 times. Yep, it's getting there. Smoky slate would work for your boulders as well. Smoky slate. Some kind of neutral color, but different than the sand color. I'm going to go one more time on the boulders. Okay, this side, move it, flip it around. We're going to do this, the seagrass. We're going to make it flat side up. Put it in your scene, right off to the edge there, toward the bottom. Lower, lift. Let's close this gray granite. Oh, I was already open. Tap, tap, tap. Very nice. Okay, get your other seagrass. Tap your old olive. Stamp off onto your mat. Stamp onto your scene. Get a little bit of extra seagrass there. And voila. And then you know the rest. The rest was cut, which we, you know, this part here, we can write that there. You're going to cut 2 by 1.5. Just, I'm writing all the steps here. That was what we cut. You're going to raise them up with dimensionals, your basic white. That's your basic white, and basic white on the inside. And then this card was done in the other way. I guess you would say the traditional way. But I liked making the cards open vertically, which is why I shared that measurement there. Okay, and then you're going to add your little sea glass shapes and et cetera, et cetera. Seagulls. So we have, that's from Waves of Inspiration. Oceanfront. This. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We used 6 of the parts of the Oceanfront, and then we used this and this from Waves of Inspiration, my next workshop kit. So that's what we did. That's how we built that scene. All right, let me see if there are any questions. Yeah, you like the sea glass embellishments. They're really, really cool. Okay. Niloka. Okay, I had that wrong. But thank you for phonetically spelling your name, Niloka. Niloka? Oh boy. All right, well, thank you for your comments. Dacia, Diana, Judy, Gloria, I love all your comments. I appreciate it, Donna. All right, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. I hope you will go and make some of these projects for yourself. And now that you see how easy it is to transform this piece of paper into this card in just no time using Stamparatus and our coordinating Stampin' Up products. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. We'll see you again real soon.